Moonbeams. This is Planetbase. I'm Colonel Failure. Last time around, we basically weathered a fairly significant sandstorm. We seem to have come out of that relatively unscathed. But what we're really doing right now is we're waiting for the base to catch up. Our power grid is under control. We are blessed with relatively high winds at the moment, and that's allowing us to stay. Oh, there you go. See, as if on cue, we're just starting to bleed a little bit of power here. Yeah, let's. I'm pretty sure we're okay. We've got a reasonable amount of storage. I'll pay attention to that in a minute if the wind drops further still. But we're waiting on things to be built. So another wind turbine here, a massive solar panel, another water tank, because obviously we're going to need to start thinking about water. Then we're waiting for our robotics facility, some storage, and another airlock. So there's an unholy amount of stuff being built, and in fact I'm going to up the tempo while we wait for our diligent engineering folk to get the job done. There you go. See, we've trickled back up again. So I have the ability to cover all of my energy demands relatively easily. But while we're waiting for this to happen, I do need to keep half an eye on the wind. See, it just keeps dropping and rising and dropping, and you can't take your eye off it. I've got 17,000. Maybe I should just relax. No, I'm just going to relax. It's only because I'm, running at... what's going on here? Oh, we can... Oh, interesting. We can increase our... Oh, hey, see, I didn't know that. Right, I'm going to push this button. Do I want to prioritize storage? No, I want to prioritize robotics. So I'm going to get the robotics facility built up relatively quickly, because that means that I can build some robots, which will allow me, in turn, to get the other stuff built a little more quickly. At least that's the hope. Although I do seem to have a fair chunk of resources over here already. It needs 2 of the blue number, 2 metal, steel. What do we call that? Metal. Right, yeah, bioplast processor has been built. Ah, good. That's going to make me some more green. What's going on in here? It's in the factory. Let's have a look-see in the factory. Alright, what have we got here? There's spares. We're making spares. Spares are good. And a semiconductor effort. I think I don't want the factory, do I? So you can no, turn it back on. We want it running. That's a given. All right. Yeah. All right. Back out here, please. Yep. Yep. Done looking at that now. Thank you. There we go. Somehow we've managed to rustle up some materials to get this built. And hopefully it will do relatively soon. So it's because I'm mining away to bring in more raw materials. I can't help but think that maybe a secondary mine would be beneficial. Where's my processing plant? Which isn't the factory. Here it is, processing plant. Right, let's have a look at that. Don't want to edit the contents. Metal processor at 44%, metal processor at 36%. So each of those is going to kick out another blue. These 2 are going to kick out another green when they're done. Okay, right. And then, have we got any other colours going on here? That's food. No? Yeah, that's a pasta meal. Medical supplies. So I am still learning the game. Whatever gave it away. I know. And what was that? That sounded close. Maybe maintain a little higher altitude here to keep an eye on what's going on. And what's holding me back right now is actually getting facilities built. So I'll tell you what. I'll continue running this through. I'll unput that. I'll zoom back in if something exciting happens. But otherwise, I'll be back as soon as we've got some base facilities up. Stay tuned. I will return. Okay, I said I'd be back when something exciting happened, and something exciting has happened. We just took a direct hit of the meteor variety to our hydroponics. Now, fortunately, Captain Robot here is taking care of business. Hydroponics, biodome, you know what it means. Yeah, that was quite exciting. At high speed, it perhaps lacked some of the what's the word I'm looking for? I'm going to say impact. Obviously, it did have an impact, but maybe it lacked the dramatic impact that it would have had were I playing through at higher speed. Anyway, it's night time at the moment, and as you can see, the amount of power I'm generating is, well, pretty much nothing. Which, you know, the game would throw at me at a point where, well, it would just throw it at me. I've got enough to keep everything switched on for a bit, but, you know, a little gust of wind wouldn't go amiss, or, you know, maybe the option to build some kind of nuclear reactor, you know, some kind of self-sustaining power effort. Anyway, I have got this is the robotics facility, and we're connected up to the main habitat. And I've got under construction a bot workshop so I can build more robots. Yes. And I've also got a bot auto repair, so a repair center for my existing robot staff. All being well, that will come along relatively quick. Oh, you see, we're getting a gust of wind now. Where are we? Still got 13,000 in the bank. Let's up the tempo again. No, tempo dropped off. So I don't really want to be turning anything off, but obviously I will do. Where shall I put my safety point? Oh yeah, I'll put my safety point at 5,000. That's the point. That's the moment at which I'll start disabling in frenzied fashion to try and save the lives of these brave and noble colonist chaps who've come along on this mission with a foolhardy and probably lackluster commanding officer who is just looking at the readout and going, come on, well, give me a gust of flipping breeze, you swine. So the thing I really need to keep an eye on, I don't want to be playing through this at high speed. I think I think it's far too dangerous to be doing that kind of behaviour. Come on, the sun's up. The sun's up. We have solar. Give me now. Come on. Power storage is low. Alright, let's drop the speed. The sun may be up, but unless we can get the wind up as well, obviously I have no control over that. A weather forecast would be nice. So the wind strength is picking up, almost to the point where we're at break even. But I want to be putting power back in storage. There we go. If I can get power back in storage, then potentially, no, it's dropping off again. Dropping off again. Okay, right. Well, 3,000 is way below my comfort level for nighttime if there's no wind. Because obviously if there's no wind, then I'm not generating any power at all at night. I've also issued orders for the landing pad to be built here, and we've got those connected up suitably. Okay, what do we want to disable then? Right, well, let's turn sick bay off. Canteen better stay on, I suppose. I don't really want to turn processing off, but I will turn off robotics. What are you? Factory, I'll turn them off as well. Alright, what's that done for my power demands? 37 now, that's still a lot. Okay, processing's off. We can wait. And we'll turn the mine off as well. Speak to me. 27. Okay, we are now at least power positive on solar alone. The bad news is we're halfway through the day. So, unless the wind picks up, we're going to have to stay completely powered down overnight. And you know what? As a game mechanic goes, I really like this. It might not be the most exciting piece of gameplay you've ever seen in your life, but you know what? Staring at this little power grid and watching it do its thing is actually quite good fun. Although I've got to do something about the number of meteors hitting. What is this? Water crystals. Stone me. That was a biggie. Hold on. No, that wasn't a biggie. That was a direct. Was that a direct hit? Felt pretty close. So I have the option right now. Once the landing pad's up, we can start to bring in a few more you know, jolly colonists. We can you know, be a little more aggressive in getting colonists into the system, which will allow me to expand faster. But of course, everything is going to put a higher demand on my already erratic resources. So while power is no, see, look, here it goes. Crud, power dropping like a stone. I mean, we're halfway through the night. I mean, I've got more power stuff queued for construction. Maybe that's what I need to do next. Maybe I need to tell it to let's up the priority on the big solar array that I've got hooked up over there. You've come to fix this turbine. That's jolly decent of you. Okay, we're up to 12,000. It's almost the end of the night. Time to power stuff back up again. On. Yeah. Sick bay. On. No, I didn't need to edit. Just turn it back on. Actually, it does a very nice job of telling you what's powered off. That works quite nicely. Right, there you go. Fill your boots there, team. Cane as much power as you like. Sun's coming up. But again, I'm not actually producing that much. See, the wind's dropped off. Again. Okay, well, you know, power generation is now 30. I mean, if it were to just blow for a couple of hours, I could top up my storage facilities again. And I think there's nothing else for it. I think I'm going to have to build another big capacitor and really over-index on the amount of power that I'm harvesting. Come on, give me some breeze here. Because as much as I quite enjoy the monitoring of the power situation, that is not the gameplay that I am here for. Oof. Right, look at it go. Unless it blows, it really wants to drain everything in a hurry. Meanwhile, where are my workers? Damn it! Bot workshops being built. Well, you know, fantastic. Trusty construction robots there. First thing they do is build their own gear. Can we get this solar panel up? You wretches. There we go. We've got a fair old blow going now. That's another impact over there, though, isn't it? That's better. I think this one's already... No, it's not full up. It's going to try and fill this small one first as the sun is setting, but we do have lots of wind. Long may it... No. Dropping off. Alright, well, I'm going to conserve as much as possible, so let's turn the mine off immediately. I think the order we're going to go is mine and then sick bay. Obviously, while no one's sick, I'm pretty comfortable with turning sick bay off. We'll keep the canteen turned on, although that can be deprioritised when needed. I want to keep the bot workshop and all the processing up. And that said, where did I put my material processing department? Sick bay, dorm, canteen, factory, processing plant. There we go. Actually, let's try some other F keys and see what we get here. Charts. No, well, charts are good for showing a bit of a trend, but in terms of just, yeah, I'm pushing the buttons. Oh, hello. Structures being built. Right, we've got a whacking great solar panel up now, which I assume will mean that it will take a direct hit from an awful lot of meteors very soon. But the sun's coming up. Right, that's going to refill me in no time flat. I should now have power enough during the day to have everything on all the time. See, I mean, look, we're generating 133 right now, and the wind is barely blowing at all. So getting another capacitor up in the near future is probably a good call. Another large wind turbine, that's a useful idea. See, I had all the right ideas when I plotted this stuff in. My mistake was plotting in quite so much in a hurry. So we do have bits of metal floating around, but I suspect quite strongly that I'm not generating enough of it. Let's look at this processing plant. That's 0% alone. What are these for? Anyone want to tell me? Maybe that's raw materials coming in? Oh, that's materials that are done. So we've got 3 bioplastic in each of those. Presumably. And we've got nothing waiting here at the moment at all. Probably because the mine is still being mined, at a guess. Now the wind's dropped off. We're maxed on power now, which is a good thing. But even so, that's not going to. We're not going to be able to keep that up overnight. Well, we're not going to keep it up all night. Oh, a little robot was broken. Right, more F keys. F2. What have we got here? Welfare, very poor. Get over it. What's this one? Prestige, 39 out of 1,000. I've seen higher. Got 7 humans on board, 3 workers, 2 biologists, an engineer, and a medic. No guards. The notion of guards fills me with some trepidation. A carrier bot, 1 construction bot. Now I wonder if I can tell my robotic facility. Let's see what other F keys do. Not a lot. Manufacturing units. Oh, right, okay. Right, medical supplies. I only need, let's say, 5? 10. 10. Spares will drop to 50. Semiconductors to... I think we need less of those. 25. Guns will go for 25 as well. And we'll have 25 robots. Right? I picked these numbers using a mixture of science and guesswork. That's research. That's the quick save button. Hey, there we go. I'm better than a tutorial because, you know, I spell it all out for you as it happens. Where did we drop to power-wise? Oh, stone me. Just as well the sun came up, huh? Yeah, okay, so the wind is problematic. I think that's a fairly safe thing to say. I'd quite like another water tank. I'd also quite like that wind turbine. But I can't help but think that getting the landing pad sorted is probably going to be the better bet here. It's a tough one to understand. Well, it's a tough one to know instinctively what I should be doing. Do I want more colonists here in order to speed the growth along, or am I better off making do with the very few people that I have right now in order to avoid having to have enormous amounts of resources? And you know what else? I've got one capacitor here. What? Sandstorm imminent. There was a button you could press. No, the button you can press is in the in the command center, which I haven't built. No, it's Randall again. No, don't go to mine, Randall. Go home. No, he's just going to mine. And this is Parker House. Parker House, go to your house. Oh, no. And Lonnie Bergstrom she's carrying metal to the landing pad. I don't need you to do this now, people. All right, okay, there's nothing else for it. I have to get the command center built. Okay, right, well, where would be right next to the robotics facility? Do we think that's a good idea? Or just off from the landing pad? I think I'm always going to choose to have multiple connections instead of just one, so I think we'll go here. Should we build a whacking great one? I think we'll just go with a little one for now. We can always build a secondary unit later on. Let's get the... No? You only want one connection. I bet it told me that as well, didn't it? I bet you money it did. Okay, well, we've got a second airlock being worked on here. Now, it was suggested, I'm pretty sure it was suggested in comments, that having one near to the mine would speed things up significantly. Sandstorm's over, kids. Get back to work. And I'm inclined to agree. So this is going to be a storage facility. And then we've got the command center here. Mr. Carrying Robot here. No, you're a constructor robot. Well, why don't you do some flaming constructing while your pal, the carrying robot, does the carrying? Meanwhile, someone build me another robot. Oh, we have a carrier bot. Requires tech. Okay, so I can only build carriers at the moment. Contains bioplastic. It needs all sorts of bits and pieces. Alright, well, that'll probably figure itself out. Interesting. I'm gonna wrap things up here for the moment. It's an enjoyable game. I think the downside is, basically, all I've played of this game is what you've seen me play, plus the tutorial. And I think for the next issue, the next episodes of this fine adventure on an alien world, I'll try and record a few in sequence. That way, I should start to get a grip on things, and it will seem just like a steady oi there atmosphere. I'm not set up for you to be bombarding me yet. Give a fella a chance. Yes, I'll play a few in sequence, and then hopefully it will stop me being somewhat baffled as to what the hell's going on in my system. No, I don't want any of this. What I want is a... Oh, here it is. Right, okay, so we've got 6 bits of metal, 8 vegetables, 1 bit of ore, 3 medicinal plants. Yes. We've got some starch. Smear it all over yourself and have a good time. Okay, thanks very much for watching today. I've been Colonel Failure. Next time around, I'll make more progress, and we'll see where we get to. I don't envisage this being the longest series ever. I'm not going to play through map after map after map. I figure... Oh, crud. Don't damage the airlock. Although the airlock seems to have come out of that unscathed. Hey, look, I'm going to leave while I still can. Thanks for watching. Been Colonel Failure. Like, subscribe, the usual jazz. I'll be back with you very soon with some more of this. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.
This